This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. Oh my gosh, how we doing today? It is a rainy day, and I have had a day. It's going to be, we're going to try to put together a show for you today on the Joe Gaither Show. I am exhausted. Things did not go according to plan last night, but that is A-okay. We're going to get through it. We're here with Mason. Mason's going to help us get through it today.
I'm going to have to carry you, apparently. Golly.
Yeah.
I need some energy. Come on, Joe.
Yeah,
You made me wait around all day.
Yeah, we were supposed to go at 8, weren't we?
I got takes to get on.
And we're trying to get phone calls, and I dropped the ball. Oh, gosh. Okay, so what are we going to do today, Mason? What's the plan? We're going to get phone calls. Oh, I have nothing. I drove back. Okay, so I was supposed to drive back last night. Didn't really happen. Oh, I see. Dropping the ball. You can yell at me, leaving the music up.
It's okay. You know, hey, we get in here, you know.
Terrible.
We got to turn it up a little bit. We just got to pick it up. We are live here in the Derek Daniels studio as always. So we just got to pick it up a little bit. We got fun topics to get into. You had a fun event you were at last night. Obviously, returning from said event maybe didn't go exactly according to plan, but we got things to get into today. You got a cool new T-shirt. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, we saw Pent Up at Monday Night Raw last night. Seattle Miedo. We have zero fear. And so, yeah, we need to get into it. Okay. We have a lot to get into on the Derek Daniels in the Derek Daniels.
Got a fresh Mountain Dew right here.
You got it. Okay, great. Well, you know what? I mean, despite the small hiccup, I did go to the Buc-ee's twice up there on the way up and back. So I'm loaded down with the snacks. I got plenty of those. You know, I cannot stay away from those fried apple pies that are right there on that rail.
You get any of the beaver nuggets? That's my favorite snack at a Buc-ee's.
Yes, got some of those for sure. We're going to be talking about Nick Sheridan because his role is officially defined.
I think I like the new role too. Not that it's really anything other than what we expected.
We're going to talk about Nick Sheridan. That'll be fun. We're going to talk about what else? We're going to talk about Alabama and Texas, Auburn and Vanderbilt. Or is there going to be a surprise? Is there going to be a trap game tonight? Are either of the teams going to drop the ball ahead of Saturday's matchup? Obviously,
wouldn't that be something if both of them did?
Regardless, I mean, you're still going to get 1 versus 2, whatever metric you want to see, because there's not going to be any new polls between now and Saturday. But maybe one of these teams will drop the ball tonight, and some of the matchup will lose its luster a little bit. I mean, I don't think it will, but oh goodness, what are we going to do? You can find us on the Twitter machine, on Facebook, on YouTube, at Joe Gaither 6. You can call us now at 205-462-7340, extension 800. The phone line is live while we are live. Oh, goodness gracious, we apologize. I apologize. We were supposed to go live at 8 a.m. We will be going live at 8 a.m. tomorrow, 8 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, and then 3 o'clock on Mondays to accommodate Mason's schedule. Just a weird week because I did go to Monday Night Raw. Just windshield wipers. I didn't want to have an issue and just got out of Raw late last night. So just decided to stay up there. And that's what happened.
Up there in Smashville?
Yeah, it was great. Got up there pretty smoothly. But getting back today was just, the traffic. I went over to Atlanta 2 weeks ago for the same event. Much smoother getting in and out to State Farm Arena, parking deck fairly close, block and a half, 2 blocks, whatever it was in Atlanta. Actually, about 10 minutes in Atlanta. Here over in Nashville, it was about a block and a half, so it was half the distance.
Is it Bridgestone, right?
Bridgestone. The traffic getting in and out of Nashville was so much worse in Nashville than Atlanta. Brutal, absolutely brutal. Getting in and out of Nashville, and so I will take that into account the next time WWE runs the circuit down south. Not really anytime coming soon. The next premium live event is in Toronto, Canada. Not going to make Elimination Chamber.
No.
And then WrestleMania is in Las Vegas. Not going to be making WrestleMania. That'll be on my television screen. Mason, you want to come over for WrestleMania? We'll throw a big old party 10 weeks away now. So it was a good time last night in Nashville, despite the logistics. And we've got a lot to get into. We invite you to jump on the calls at 205-462-7340, extension 800. And if you're listening on podcast platforms, so if you're listening to this later, you can call that same number, leave us a voicemail. We played some voicemails yesterday. I had some friends tell me the volume was too low. I agree with that. The volume was too low. I'll try to work that out so that we can play those in the future. We appreciate everybody trying it, as we're live and as we are on voicemails. If you want to have comments on the show or just random things to talk about.
Good opportunity tonight.
Oh, yeah. With the game happening tonight, we're at 8 o'clock, right? And Vandy and Auburn's at 6. So it's back-to-back. You can call in, react to the Auburn game, win, lose, or draw. You can call in, react to the Alabama game as it's happening. The idea is for you to use it as a place to vent your feelings about the Alabama games and about any of the storylines that we talk about on the show. Mason, I haven't seen you since last Friday. I missed you over the weekend. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_. How you doing, man? How was the weekend?
Doing good.
What do you want to start with? Dealer's choice, since you are carrying the show today. We want to start with Super Bowl reaction from Mason Woods. You want to go Alabama basketball or something else?
Let's go ahead and get the Super Bowl out of the way. That's the big event from the weekend. I mean, I don't think you can talk about this past weekend without going to the Super Bowl first. Obviously, the Empire, the Kansas City Chiefs go down in fiery fashion. 40-22 does not indicate just how much of a complete and utter whooping that game was from, snap one to the final snap of the game. The Eagles came. I'm not sure that there's many teams in the history of the NFL that were beating that Eagles team on Sunday night. They were just so dominant. It was, good for Jalen Hurts. Gets a Super Bowl MVP. I think it was well deserved. I don't think there's anybody else you could have given it to. He put the team on his back, put the offense on his back, especially made a bunch of just really beautiful throws in that game. Saquon. I think Saquon had a good game.
Jalen Hurts can't pass.
People. The takeaway was that Saquon. Saquon had a bad game, and you would have Saquon didn't have a bad game. He just didn't dominate like people had grown accustomed to the last few weeks. He still finished with almost 100 all-purpose yards, I think, on the game, but a complete whooping. It was left no doubt about it that the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the NFL this year, and they are your Super Bowl champions. Whew. That's the halftime show I really liked. I saw a lot of people who hated it. Those people are stupid. I saw a lot of people that said it was like the greatest thing they'd ever seen in their life. Those people are also stupid. It falls somewhere in the middle. I think it was in the upper tier of Super Bowl shows. I think it could have been better. I think it definitely could have been worse. Every year we get these reaction think pieces on Monday morning about the halftime show, and they've wildly go one way or the other. This year was no different, but we'll look back on it a year or two from now and think, yeah, it was a pretty good one, I think.
Did Justin Timberlake and what was her name go too far?
Janet Jackson.
Did they go too far in the Super Bowl? It pushed the boundaries. What statement did they make about society?
The one about after Shakira and J-Lo were on stage.
Oh my God!
The moral panic about that one was just preposterous. People were, it was. You would have thought that
didn't they have the Rolling Stones up there when I was probably you were young? Goodness gracious, I forget.
I think I vaguely remember this one.
I forget our age gap is much larger than it is. But Rolling Stones were up there when I was in the 8th grade, maybe. So you probably would have been in second, third grade. In that range.
Maybe this was one of the ones the Steelers played in.
Yeah, Steelers Seahawks.
Oh, maybe
Steelers. Okay, maybe Steelers Cardinals. Yeah. All right, keep going. Anything else? Anything stand out to you at the Super Bowl? I mean, Jalen Hurts putting the doubters behind him. Yeah. Devontae Smith, first Alabama touchdown in the Super Bowl.
I think it's very funny, and this has nothing to do with either of those things, but about the Eagles. I'm sure you've familiarized yourself. You've seen Big Dom, the Eagles like security guy on the sideline that has gone viral a few times. Now I've noticed in this coaching carousel, this off season, like every team is trying to get their own just like one Italian staff member. I just saw the Jags hired another one, and they instantly put out this video, and he's, I'm gonna have to find me a good red sauce joint around here, and it's just like we don't all just need one scary Italian man on the coaching staff. The Eagles do it because it works for them. Big Dom gets out there, it's cool. I think that's very funny. But I mean, back to the game. Devontae Smith, yes, gets his touchdown. The story there, I'm sure everyone saw it on their Twitter timeline. The picture of him losing in that same stadium however many years ago as a high schooler. You see the tears rolling down his face, like very, very emotional in that moment. Goes to Alabama, wins two natties, wins a Heisman, gets to the NFL, now is a Super Bowl champion. Really came full circle for him. It was an awesome story. It's not that much to talk about with this game. It was such a complete and utter crap pumping.
Yeah, we talked about it before the game, how disinterested we were as neutral fans, and the game played out that way. Now, it didn't play out. I guess I mailed it in on the prediction, and yeah, I did. Didn't I take the Chiefs on the show? Yeah. All on that, big old egg on my face. But I feel like he kind of mailed it out. Man, I had a friend in our little text chat going, it's going to be a blowout, like just a couple minutes in. And I was like, you know what? They are so dialed in. The Eagles, it just seemed like they were so motivated to end the little three-peat chances and to get that win back from 2 years ago that, I had a different friend say, why aren't they throwing the ball down the field more where they're everybody knows they're running on a first down. And I said, we talked about pounding the clock. We talked about sucking the life out of the game. The Eagles were in such control the entire game, that goodness gracious, if you're in Tuscaloosa, it is raining. And it rained all the way back on my drive from Nashville. But the Eagles were in such control that they didn't have to really push.
I mean, I'm sure it happened at some point throughout the full 60-minute game, but off the top of my head, I can't really remember one moment where they got like behind the sticks on an offensive drive.
Well, I mean, they did a couple times. I mean, and Jalen had a couple throws, and then he had the interception. But even the drives that didn't even turn out their way, I felt like they were still just methodically in control. Okay, you have the interception; they're down on the 1.
You get the OPI call, which
right,
everybody's buzzer started to go off immediately. Oh, Chiefs rigged, whatever. But I mean, like, it didn't go the way you wanted it, but ended up a good drive.
On the rigged stuff, you Chiefs get all the calls. I thought Nick Sirianni, his game plan. If I were a coach thinking I'm going up against a team that gets a lot of calls and it's rigged against us, this, that, and the other. The game plan that he put out there was exactly what you would do. Suck the whole life out of the game, try to minimize try to lower possessions, try to minimize risk, try to get in stay ahead of the sticks and try to stay ahead of field position, try to stay ahead of time of possession, like to minimize those massive calls. To me, it looked like a coach, and the game plan was executed in such a way that was like, we're going to do our part to make sure that the refs aren't involved in this by being physically dominant on both lines of scrimmage and really just being really good at the basics.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about being physically dominant at the line of scrimmage. They got almost a 50% pressure rate for the whole game. Did not blitz once. Rushed 3 or 4 exclusively. That's crazy.
Our comments, James Ludham is commenting, and he's had a couple good comments we put up here. Three rushes in the first half for the Chiefs. Mahomes had a QBR of 1. in the first half. 1 in the first half. But they went for you continue his take really. If you look at the box score, they had 11 rushes, I think, in the whole game, the Chiefs, to 45 for the Eagles. I think 3 were Neal, so 42. So you're running the ball 42 times, and yeah, the yards per rush were lower for the Eagles, but it was the patience and the, hey, we just going to keep smashing you, baby. And the Chiefs never even gave themselves that chance. It was always on Mahomes. It was always on James. It was always on Travis Kelce. It was always on, can you get open, James, Xavier Worthy or DeAndre Hopkins. I didn't feel like the plan was really that good for the Chiefs, and I didn't notice this until after I saw a comment yesterday. It didn't even click with me, Mason. But I obviously knew Vic Fangio's connection to the Eagles, and I obviously knew Matt Nagy's connection to the Chiefs, and they were on the staff together the year the Bears were actually good, 2018. Nagy doing the offense and Fangio doing the defense, and it was like somebody was like, Vic Fangio had Matt Nagy in a phone booth but the entire game. So how could you go, like, you didn't even try to run the football, Chiefs. You didn't even try to run the football. You were down, like, he was down 7-0, and it was like, started to panic already, and that just snowballed.
Yeah, I mean, is this the catalyst for running backs to start getting their due respect as far as paydays come? With the NFL, we're gonna start seeing a return to the days of old where the running backs are now the breadwinner for your NFL team, because at the end of the day, I mean, we just saw it. Running game and strong defense still wins championships if you got it, and the Eagles proved that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Chicago really takes notice with that number 10 overall pick.
Ashton Jeanty.
No, offensive lineman.
It's going to be Ashton Jeanty, and you're going to be happy.
Well, people are saying, that you get Ashton Jeanty. No, just take the best offensive lineman. Just take the best offensive lineman. Well, season's come and gone. Whoop-de-doo.
It makes me so sad. It really set in like Monday morning when I woke up, just like, oh, man, football's over. I'm not going to watch the UFL.
No.
I'll keep up. The Stallions will probably win again. That'll be cool.
But I don't have I don't have the bandwidth to like adopt another team.
Either. No, I can't.
I'm a Birmingham. Like, yes, I will whoop-de-doo for the Birmingham Stallions, but I don't have the bandwidth to follow who's on the Stallions roster, who they're picking up, who they're playing this week.
Until like a very notable former Alabama quarterback takes over for some UFL team, I will probably not be very checked in. If God forbid, knock on wood, something happened and Bryce Young found his way out of the NFL and into the UFL, sign me up. I'll be a fan. But that's about what it would take.
I still wouldn't be there. I just wouldn't care. Like, because think about it. You had AJ McCarron, St. Louis Battlehawks for the last, and it was like, I'm not like.
Yeah, but I mean,
and good for you,
God
AJ.
Love AJ. We never saw a level of quarterback play from AJ that we saw from Bryce Young.
Oh, I loved AJ. I thought he
skill
was so
set
good.
Wise. I mean, come on. It's like comparing a loaf of white bread to a beautifully, wonderfully crafted like sourdough. It's like, yeah, they both.
But that white bread's good, baby.
Sure.
That white bread gets the job done.
Sure, it did. But look at this with this nice crust.
That white bread left Tuscaloosa with 3 national championship rings. That sourdough barely was coattail riding for 1.
Yeah, and then put the entirety of his roster on his back and almost got into another one.
That's true.
God, me and some friends of mine were talking about those teams, and we were kind of running through. Man, I remember how did Bryce Young not do? How did Bryce Young not win a title as a starter? And then it's like, I was the one throwing out there. Well, his team kind of sucked, if you remember. And everybody, oh, that's crazy. Bama's team was like, go back and look at who Bryce Young was throwing to.
Well, J-Mo and Mechie in 2021, but then but it just dropped off a cliff. It dropped off a massive cliff.
Like planetary sized cliff. He left the atmosphere. It was like I liked those guys. You know, I liked Trayshawn Holden. He went and did some pretty good things at Oregon, but like it was just golly, he was throwing to plumbers. Like, how do we even get here?
I don't even remember. Super Bowl end of the season. UFL.
Yeah, that's what it was.
We're not gonna watch the like nothing's gonna I don't care. Like you had Bo Scarborough who was dominating for the Stallions.
That was pretty neat.
And like it was cool to see that box score and like the 4 highlights on Twitter that you'd see.
I went to one Stallions game. That was fun. Had a good time. If you want to go watch, if you want to not spend a lot of money and go watch some football, it's a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah, get your family involved.
Yeah.
You go sit in the heat. James Ludeman's got a question for you, Mason. He says, who's the next Alabama player in the NFL to win their Super Bowl? Jalen Hurts again and the Eagles? Or will it be someone else like Derrick Henry? Or the Bears don't have any Alabama players. That's why they stink. Do the Titans have any Alabama? J.C. Latham, right? Isn't he? Yeah. That's my guy, Trench King.
Yeah, cornerstone of the franchise, J.C. Latham.
Hey, who else y'all got? Y'all got any others?
That might be it.
Who's the next Is it going to be, the Commanders? Somebody that Commanders crew was close.
I think that
the Lions crew was all close as well.
It's one of those two, I think. I think it's going to be either one of the members of that Commanders wrecking crew up front,
Jonathan Allen. Keep going. Sorry.
That's what it is.
You got
one more, isn't there? Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne,
and Fadarian Mathis with that crew, and you got Brian Robinson on the other side running the football. Do they have a lineman that don't have J.C. Hassenauer? He's not with them anymore.
I think it's going to be one of those two.
And then the Lions Alabama contingent is massive too. Jamison Williams, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, Terry and Arnold. The Texans have a pretty big contingent, but they were close, but no cigar this past year. Man, look, Chicago, Ryan Poles. It's that simple. At number 10, Tyler Booker. Look at all these other these teams that were dancing around the playoffs, that were in the playoffs, that were making noise. Yes, they all had good quarterback play, and now we have a quarterback. But now go get the best players available, and those best players are right here in Tuscaloosa and in Athens and stuff. You look at all these.
I think you take a playbook from the Eagles and you say, all right, what was the best defense in the last 2-3 seasons of college football? Let's draft as many players as we can from that unit.
Yeah,
seems like a pretty good game plan. That's the way I would start if I was looking to build a good defense in the NFL right there. Because you instantly have chemistry. Those guys already know each other pretty well. You get them right in the building, they're comfortable. Yeah, man, I wish the Titans would maybe take a note because one thing they can't do.
Are you all in on Abdul Carter, or do you think they're going to go quarterback?
I want
Cam
them to trade
Ward.
out. I want them to trade out. I want them to trade with I would take the Jets, and I would take Garrett Wilson. I'd take that 7 pick. I'd take a couple more picks. I'd be all right with that. But
so the Jets can get Cam Ward or whatever.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, great.
Cam Ward, Shadur, whoever you want. You take anybody. I don't care. Yeah, they need a quarterback. They just told Aaron Rodgers to kick rocks. That's Tennessee's new quarterback. Welcome home.
Don't do it.
Welcome home, A-Rod.
Don't do it. Don't do it. That will leave you that will make you a miserable man.
It would make me want to watch on Sundays because it'd be at least entertaining, I think.
You're right. And it would actually be exactly what the Titans need. Don't draft one of these quarterbacks in this class. Get Rodgers for what, 12 minutes?
Come on home.
Yeah, 8, 12, $15 million, $22 million, whatever it is, and just let them just pitter patter, get you to 8 and 9, and
sure. Then you trade up. You sell the house to go get Arch. That's the game plan.
There you go. That's right. All right, so on track here. Right here in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We all are live. It's raining in Tuscaloosa. You're trying to be safe on the roads. We appreciate you guys for listening to us. right here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on Amazon, or on the Bama Central YouTube channel, on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither 6. You can call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Home, life, auto insurance, everything in the insurance realm. Derek and his team can take care of you. Red Reach and Victoria, they're upstairs right now waiting to take your phone call. Rainy day, you probably are back at the house already or not wanting to do real work. You can help yourself by calling Derek Daniel and his team, 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. Let's keep it going right here, Mason. And you guys can call us at 205-462-7340, extension 800 if you're watching us live. If you're listening to us after the fact, you can leave us a voicemail right there, and we'd be happy to play your voicemails tomorrow on the program, react to your voicemails. Did you hear them the other day? Because I'll play them again, and we'll see if we can turn them up real quick.
I did not.
Oh, you didn't even hear them. Okay, all right. Let's see if I can find them. Do I still have them from the other day listed in here? Let's see. I think I can add a video clip and go documents, voicemail batch from the other day. Oh, that's what I did. It was too large to load like that, so I had to load it this way. Yeah.
The boy better get to winning some football games this year. We're gonna have him down at Mobile State. That's more what he seems fit for. He needs to get off the golf course, quit wearing shorts, learn how to dress, and learn how to coach football. Roll Tide.
Turnovers. That must end.
What's going on, Joe and Mason? Huge win Saturday night. Doesn't get more grittier or gutsy than this. For John Calipari, I mean, retire while you can, boss. The only thing that's hurting you right now is your legacy, and it's getting worse and worse by the game. I do have two questions, though. I feel like Aiden Terrell should get more minutes. He has 7 points, 3 rebounds, and only 7 minutes of game time. I just feel like he needs more time in the game. I mean, you might disagree, you might not. I just want to know y'all's thoughts on that. And then the better question is what team in the country is going to be more prepared for March Madness than Alabama? When you have to go on the road to Arkansas, you got to go on the road to Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky. You got to go on the road to Mississippi State. I mean, Auburn, they don't have to go on the road to Tennessee. They don't have to go on the road to Missouri. They don't have to play at Mississippi State. I just feel like that this gauntlet that we're going down right now, this 9-game stretch, is only going to prepare us more for the tournament, more than any team in the country. So that's all I got to say. Roll Tide. I can't wait to listen to y'all on Monday.
There we go. That's who we got. I turned them up a lot more than I did Monday, so hopefully the folks can hear them better. I apologize. I listened to them. Somebody said, hey, I couldn't really hear them very well. And I was like, oh, let me listen back. And I was like, oh, I couldn't really hear them very well either. And the middle one was pretty muffled as well. The middle one was simple. The middle one, we got that call right during halftime of the Alabama-Arkansas game. And the guy said, turnovers. They must end. That's what it was. Click. Hey, perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. Give me a quick reaction to what you're watching in the game. Give me a quick reaction to the game tonight. Alabama and Texas. You got Auburn and Vanderbilt. Just use that phone line as much as you like. 205-462-7340, extension 800. You can jump into the show when we're live, and then you can react to things. Leave us a voicemail to whatever you hear and join the show. We'll try to incorporate them as we go. Oh, Mason, you on Nick Sheridan or you on Alabama, Texas?
I think let's stick with a little bit of basketball talk. We'll stick with the Alabama and Texas. I didn't get a chance to really react to Arkansas.
Yeah, go for it. What you got?
I mean, that game, the last 8 minutes, about 9-10 minutes, made me want to just pull my hair out. It was like
you're up 18 with 6:29 to go.
Just tried to give that one away. Turnovers. You had 14 on the game, which it felt like even more than that watching it, honestly. It was, I don't know, that was very, very sloppy you found it right in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes or so. Maybe not even that long, just to close it out, to hold Arkansas off. I mean, I don't even really know if I can say close it out as much as I can say fend them off. You escaped with a win. We'll say that. That's about the best we could say about that performance, because you did the Alabama thing. You delivered your knockout punch, and it felt like, okay, we come out of the second half. Nobody's asleep. Okay, we're fine. You get through the first 10 minutes of the second half or so.
Stretch the lead further.
Yeah, extend the lead. And then here they come. Here comes Alabama. Here comes that Crimson Tide team that doesn't want to play a full 40 minutes. That doesn't want to give 100% for the full game. Want to slack off.
Language alert, but you know what they make me want to? They make my father's favorite curse word under his breath: bastards.
Yeah.
Just
That's how it makes you feel.
Bastards.
Because it's we watch it as fans, and like,
that's what it makes me think.
You just know, like, I know what you are supposed to be doing. Why aren't you doing it? It's so frustrating. I understand. I'm watching this game from the comfort of my air-conditioned home while these elite athletes are putting their bodies on the line for this university that argues constantly to not try to pay them more money. But dang, man, come on. It's February 11th, and we're still talking about it. It's so frustrating. That does take me, though, to the question that we received in the voicemail.
Yeah, go for it.
Which team is more ready or going to be more ready for March Madness than Alabama? And I don't think I think the answer is no one. There's not going to be a team more ready for March Madness than Alabama. And it's because, they are just taking these licks. A lot of them are a little self-inflicted, sure. But, like, you're getting this out of the way, I think. I think you're getting a lot of this out of your system. Still, even this part of the season, they're still working things out.
Getting it out of your system and surviving with wins.
Yes, I think that is such a, it's the motto of the tournament: survive and advance. Like, it is all about survive and then get to the next game and then survive, get to the next round. It is not like it's an ugly, gritty, grimy tournament where teams have to grind their way all the way to the end of it. It is not, it's not a cakewalk. I think Alabama going through this kind of stretch and taking these kind of blows and getting these kinds of things out of their system is really, really good for them. And they will be, seems like they're going to be playing their best basketball of the season right as they enter March Madness.
Yeah, Saturday was really frustrating. Encouraging on a lot of fronts. In a lot of ways, in the first half, Arkansas gets very fortunate getting pretty much the performance of his life was Vladimir Vicic behind the arc, just draining, just like throwing it into an ocean. Yeah. And that's okay. You don't plan for that really, and that's not really the norm. So great, you give him hats off for it.
I saw some people bringing up, on Twitter talking about how Alabama, this team is just terrible defensively. It's just an awful defensive team, and it's like I don't think that's the case at all. You look at the metrics;
they're not
in the
an
top
F.
45 of the country, top 50 of the country in defensive rating. They've shut down some good people, but
they're not an A+. They're not an F. Yes. Where are they defensively?
I would say a B-.
Yeah. But yeah, B- with see, what's annoying is the capability to be an A-. Yes. I don't think that they maybe they have the capability to be 100% A+. We're all over everything, but no, I kind of don't think so. With your I love you, Blue, love you, Mark, but you are still an undersized point guard stopping the ball. I think you're maxed out. Like, okay. I hate how people compute things to like games or whatever. But if you're gonna rate them on a EA Sports system, their max defense is probably about a 93.
Yeah.
On their best day, but they've been playing at about an 84.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what drives me nuts.
Very frustrating.
But shoot, you pair that, their max offense is a 101.
Sure.
Their max offense is absurd, and they've been playing offense at what, Mason, at
95
for 3.
Yeah, sure. I saw
Go
someone
ahead.
kind of pose
Continue.
the question of like, because like we just said, this team has the capability of playing that A- level defense. Why is it that so frequently they just have one guy go off, and it's not anyone you really expected going into the game? Trayson Eaglestaff, North Dakota State. Zvonimir
You got it. It's Zvonimir.
Visic.
There you
go. Saturday against Arkansas, and blanking on the other examples now on the top of my head, but it's been other
go.
guys.
Jeremiah Fear scored
Yeah.
late for Oklahoma, but he scored all his points late. You had the Rutgers guards, right?
Yeah, the Rutgers guards both just dominated them. You go to I think even against I don't remember, but anyway, I what is it that it kind of just seems like semi-frequently? It's, you go into the game and it's not the most scary. Very obviously was not the guy that everybody was worried about being a super freakish offensive threat, but then they just dominate. I mean, is it just flukes and Alabama's just gotten unlucky a handful of times this season against some guys who got hot?
Potentially. I mean,
I don't know.
Our buddy Ken Palm does have a luck rating. What's his luck rating for Alabama? His luck rating for Alabama is plus 0.78, which leaves Alabama at number 1 in luck. So
I don't know.
I don't know how that factors.
I worry that they're gonna go into this Iron Bowl of basketball, and this is gonna be the game where
no, not number 1.
Auburn's sixth man gets 40 points. It's like, oh, nobody saw that coming. Where
41 in luck, 41st,
Okay.
41st.
How do you measure luck?
Yeah, I don't know what goes into that, but that's what.
Please enlighten us.
Old Kenny Pomeroy has them, and has Montana as the luckiest
There we
team on the year.
I just worry. It seems like on any given night, Alabama can do fine. They can have a great game, but then, here comes Mr. So-and-so off the bench. Oh, what? He's 6 for 7 from 3? He just dropped 35? What happened? And then it completely shifts the tide of the game.
Is it going to be Trey Johnson's night for Texas?
Maybe.
Mr. 19 points a game. Isn't he like 1, 2, 3 in the SEC in scoring? Is that your phone? Somebody buzzing?
Oh, it is.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
seeing it now.
That's okay. Who's talking to you?
It's some of my friends I play fantasy football with.
That's great. That's great. The league that you won, right?
Yeah, the league that I won.
That
Came back
we
from the
won.
depths of hell and dominated in the final stand.
Oh, that league? Those guys?
It was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, those guys who finished second, third.
I think if we're looking at Texas, I mean, if we want to
Arthur
take
Kaluma. Like,
Yeah,
if you can limit Kaluma tonight, I don't care what Trey Johnson does. And really, Arthur Kaluma becomes a Modi Abate, Jared Stevenson problem that both those young men, I think, are very capable enough to solve
I think so, too.
defensively. Kaluma isn't going to be a good player. He's going to get into the bucket. He's going to be, but what do you have him at? 6'10", 6'8", 6'9"?
Mhm.
He's their best rebounder. He's very Modi Abate light, Edu Thiero light. I think Trey Johnson is going to be very Aiden Holloway
Here's
light.
who it's going to be. Caden Shedrick. That's my problem.
Oh no. Go ahead.
6'11". He's a senior.
Oh no.
Averaging about 9 points a game.
Oh,
6
no.
rebounds. He's shooting almost 60% from the field.
Is he going to take Cliff Amore to the rack?
He's about to go for 38.
No.
And Alabama will still win.
What's his free throw percentage?
Free throw for Caden Shedrick, 67.
Okay.
Not great from the line, but
All right.
serviceable. That's going to be our problem tonight. That's what we got to watch. Calling it now. It's just always somebody. It's always like, I don't know. It feels like just pick one player that's not their actual leading scorer. That guy's going to go off against Alabama. Well, probably won't be enough to win, but he's going to get his. And somehow, some way, Alabama is going to be left out here saying, how did we let this man no one expected drop 35 points on our head?
So it won't be Trey Johnson.
I don't think so, because it seems like more often than not they do an okay job keeping the leading scorer of the team in check.
Yeah, LeBaron's gonna, Oh, all right. We feel good about a win, though. It's at 8 o'clock. 4.5 point favorite.
I feel good about a cover. I feel good about a win and a cover. I think we're looking at like what is Texas?
I like
what are they scoring?
I like 80. I like 88. I like 88-79. I like 88-80.
That feels pretty good. I feel good about that. I'll play. I'll go 87 to 76.
Yeah, I like that too. In the Moody Center, man, I don't know much about Rodney Terry, but every time I see him on my timeline, it's him being soft about horns down and things like that.
He really kind of just has a very soft aura about him. I think it's the glasses.
The Texas, the big thick glasses.
Well, it's like they're like the bottoms of Coke bottles for his glasses, but they're tiny. I don't know. I can't. Texas, I wouldn't feel good about having this guy be my leader of men. You know, I can't. I think I can trust him. Rodney Terry.
Oh, Rodney.
I do like the way he talks, though.
Vanderbilt. What are the chances Vanderbilt pulls off the upset over the Auburn Tigers?
We gave Florida a 0% chance in that game. I mean, not really a 0% chance, but we mentioned it, I think, on Friday's show, and it was like, write it off. Auburn's probably going to win this one. Anything can happen at this point. I'm not going to write anything off. Vanderbilt is semi-feisty. I don't think that they're near the level of team that Florida is on their, on either team's best day. I think Florida would blow Vandy out of the water. But anything can happen. And trap game is always kind of a thing you have to be worried about when you are getting ready to face the hardest game on your entire schedule. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to rule out the Commodores.
Only reason I will rule it out is the simple size disparity.
Yeah, that's
between and the fact that
just need a good shooting night in Memorial Gymnasium.
Right. Well,
that's another part. You get the weird court. A lot of strange things happen in that arena.
You got Janai Broom at 6'10", who's taller than. You got Broom and Cardwell are both taller than their entire roster, and then you throw in Baker Mazzara, who's almost as big as Jalen Carey, one of the better players for Vanderbilt. Devin McLaughlin is as well. I like the Vanderbilt team. I like their effort. I like what they try to do.
Need a hot shooting night. That's it.
Need a really hot shooting night.
We're gonna need like a 30 from 40 shooting night.
Yeah, like a 50. Realistically, like a 16 of 25. Like 16. That's what it needs to be.
I'm not ruling out I'm not ruling out the Commodores. I think they can.
I will.
There's a chance. There's a chance. That 9.5, they're disrespecting them too much. Tennessee, Kentucky.
Do we even care about that game since they're behind us in the standings?
I guess not at this point.
It's all eyes. They're not in our little stratosphere.
Not even in our wheelhouse.
It's Alabama, it's Auburn, it's Missouri, right?
Yeah.
And who else is in this little class here? Missouri, Florida, Texas A&M, all at 60. I guess Missouri's at 4 loss. Tennessee's at 4 loss. So there's a pretty big drop off after the Alabama and Auburn. You got a two game stretch. Okay, what do you think? You think Tennessee gets Kentucky? Do we even care?
What to make of this game? It's just like two opposite ends of the spectrum, coming together to make one basketball game. You got Tennessee, the most boring, make your eyes bleed brand of basketball imaginable, and then Kentucky, where if they can get out and run and find success, they'll run the scoreboard up. And they'll put up 110 points. I don't know. I don't really know what to make of this one.
I'll take Kentucky at home.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Tennessee minus 2.5 favorite, 2.5 point favorite.
Yeah, give me the Cats with the points.
Probably give me Kentucky there. It's a good slate of basketball tonight.
Very good slate of basketball, and we need to kind of get this wrapped up to go see it. The last thing for us, unless Mason has more action, is Nick Sheridan.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, Nick Sheridan. I'm driving up to Nashville yesterday, and I see a text from our friend Will Miller, who's writing the news, says, "Oh, I've got the Nick Sheridan news," and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh boy, am I about to find out that he is quit or fired or what?" And it turns out I struggle to even call this news. Do you? I mean, do you?
I don't think this is.
Tell him what happened, Mason.
He's named quarterbacks coach. Nick Sheridan is your Alabama quarterbacks coach. He is no longer the offensive coordinator. He is not, I guess, no longer co-offensive coordinator. He is just the quarterbacks coach. Good job, everybody. We can go home now. It's cool. I think it's a good role for him. I think he, in many times, was able to get the absolute most that he could out of Jalen Milroe last season. So I'm excited to see what he maybe can do with a quarterback that's less limited skill-wise. We all knew there was going to be some sort of shuffling of titles and things. So, I mean, I think we knew there was something coming for Nick Sheridan in the form of what his new title would be. I guess it's nice to have a little clarification for the sake of continuity on the coaching staff.
Yeah,
I do like the spot, I guess.
I am not really concerned. Like people, oh, he's the quarter. Like news found his new role. This, that, and the other. I mean, technically, yes, he's found his new role.
Not so sure that his responsibilities are really all that different. He has less of them.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. He's not going to be calling plays on Saturday.
Yeah.
But didn't we know that 8 days ago? Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, when Ryan Grubb gets announced as coming back to Tuscaloosa, the assumption had to have been that he's not calling plays.
No.
And when we got together, we talked about divvying up the responsibilities between Grubb, Sheridan, and Jamarcus Shepard. I just think this is just them spelling it out. This is how some responsibilities are getting divided up.
Is confused, Yeah. It's they're getting out in front of it, so there can't be any think pieces about who's actually running Alabama's offense.
Nick Sheridan,
did they release this news on Yay Alabama also?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Will aggregated a report from Alex Scarborough, which is 24/7 Sports. I'm pretty sure that is the origin of that news. So if it is the origin of that news, we do want to give you credit, Alex Scarborough. But to me, I mean, it's not.
It's just kind of like window dressing. It's not really.
Right. It's not even worth a real, let's spend 15 minutes talking about how Nick Sheridan's going to impact the quarterbacks this year because he didn't impact I think he's going to be doing the exact same bleep that he did last year on a day-to-day basis, but his Saturday responsibilities have changed, and we knew his Saturday responsibilities were changing. I'm fairly confident the Sunday responsibilities are probably going to be very similar as far as grading the game before from a quarterback perspective and getting ready to present a game plan for the next opponent from a quarterback and overall offensive perspective. I don't think much is going to change for Nick Sheridan.
No.
Now, sorry, you said no, and I almost cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I just agree with you. I don't think this is, like you said, it's kind of it's news, but like, is it? Did anything? I don't think that we're not getting any new information here other than that Nick Sheridan is now being referred to as the quarterback.
Well, where do we think he was going to fit? Were you just going to fire Brian Ellis and kick Sheridan back to his old tight ends coach job? Well, where was he going to fit? There's been, and that was not like a shot at Brian Ellis. I hope it wasn't taken that way. Like,
Yeah.
But like you were looking at where Sheridan was.
You got a wide receiver
14 months ago.
Coach.
It was the tight ends coach and got moved for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
That was why that was.
Yeah, I mean,
you weren't doing that. Brian Ellis, the tight ends did honestly, A-. Pretty good this year.
You had at the tight end position. You got a pretty good job out of all of them.
Yeah,
Trio there.
CJ Dupree did pretty good this year. Robbie was a monster this year. Pretty good job out of the tight ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
We like who we recruited as well. The
Very
tight
much
end,
so.
Caleb Edwards, definitely big. And here's what's your guy's
Marshall
name?
Pritchett.
There we go.
He's
So
a dog. Yeah, I mean, you had your wide receiver, you had all your position coach, you had your wide receiver, got your offensive line coach, got your running backs coach, needed a quarterback coach. Oh, well, we have this extra coach lying around. Let's assign him a title. Bingo, bango,
deductive
boom.
reasoning, Mason.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Excited about this offense, though. We've talked about already why, I'm not going to get into it again. It's the prospect of welcoming Ryan Grubb into the fold, I think, is very good for this offense, and just gonna be good things next year. Excited for the spring. Get to have a lot of fun quarterback.
Don't mess this up tonight, Alabama and Auburn. Don't mess this up.
If you do, both of you have to do it, because that's maximum comedy. Is for both of them to lose right before the biggest game of the year.
We can talk about this. What did you think about Bruce Pearl retweeting Hunter Johnson?
I did see this. Yeah.
I love you, Hunter Johnson, so much for this. And Hunter Johnson was tweeting that Auburn should be number one because, of course, the motivational factor. If you look back, I get this from Kevin Skarbinski. This will be there's only been 6 times where number one versus number two has been from the same state, and largely that's been North Carolina Dukes. Those games. You've had a couple
Memphis,
Ohio,
Tennessee, I think was one.
Yeah, Memphis, Tennessee, and you had an Ohio State, Cincinnati from back before your grandfather was born. Number two has won all 6. So we're using the AP poll this week, where Alabama's number 2.
Yeah,
definitely. But Hunter goes out and tweets that Auburn should be number 1.
Gets the stamp of approval.
And Bruce Pearl hits that retweet button.
Yeah, if I were a fan of that team, I would maybe have wished that my coach would have taken the Nate Oates approach to that question, and what he just basically hit the report with, "I don't care about that question. We're talking about basketball." That's the perfect way to handle it, because at the end of the day, that number beside your name means nothing. You get reseeded again when you get to the tournament.
What else was I going to say?
What about the Arkansas fans chiming in about how, the biggest game in the state of Alabama basketball history is between 2 programs who have combined 2 Final Four appearances.
Okay.
Like, buddy, you're playing the game, your controller's not even connected.
I was going to go one more place in the same area. Bruce Pearl retweeting. I need your help.
Mm-hmm.
Was this Philip Marshall post real?
I tried
Is
to find it. Could not find any confirmation that was real or not.
Is that just
I scoured
a reverse troll from an Alabama fan?
That's what I think it is. I think it is some sort of, yes. Because I went to that man's page.
Right.
Went to every page I could find that he's ever written under. Didn't find anything like that Twitter post that I saw claiming it was a column of his. Because I tried very hard to find evidence that was real, because I wanted it to be real. I wanted that to be real so bad.
I was like, this is zero chance that this is real.
I do not believe it is. No, I think someone made that and then credited him with it. To stir the pot a little bit.
Creative, well done. I did text Kevin Skarbinski.
Well.
No response, Kevin. If you are interested in joining the show the rest of the week, we'd love to have your expertise on the game this Saturday. Have you sold a kidney to be there?
I actually sold both already.
Yeah,
I'm struggling.
One
right
for
now.
you.
Not having a good time.
One for you and Melissa.
Yeah, I'm working on this new experimental procedure where they're gonna give me like robot kidneys. It's gonna be pretty cool.
What would you kidneys dialysis? No, the liver is dialysis.
Yeah, what all can I could part ways with like a finger or something.
One kidney and a right and a left hand.
I don't think I can do a whole hand. I can't give you a whole hand.
You wouldn't give Nate Oates your left hand?
No, he can have like the 2 fingers though. I could go 3 fingers maybe. I could get by with that. Or maybe, yeah. This game.
Let us know what you are considering. If you're considering selling your ticket, Let us know what's your price range, because it is out of control right now. To be in Coleman Coliseum, Saturday at 3 p.m. We're going to try to make that really the focus of the rest of the week. So we will get out of here for the day. We're right up on our time. We want to thank Derek Daniel and his team for sponsoring the program. Remember, you can call the phone line 205-462-7340, extension 800, and leave us a voicemail. Anything you heard on the show that you hate or that you don't like or that you love, you can let us know what you thought of the show right there at that phone line, 205-462-7340, extension 800. And, of course, tonight, as the games are going, that's when I really want you to use it, and let us know what you think about the ball games tonight. 205-462-7340, extension 800. We'll get out of here for the day. Thank you so much for listening to the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.